Yo, what's up, guys? This is Corey with Past Priority. Today we have Eric Blackwell, who plays 5th at the Duluth Regional this weekend. And what did you play?
I was on PURE Memento for this regional. After all my testing, it was just better than any of the other side engines in the deck. And it just worked really well throughout the whole event.
Awesome, man. Let's take a look at the deck.
We'll start with the main deck. For the 1-card starters, we're on 3 Witch and 2 Darkblade. I decided to play 2 of the Darkblade instead of 1 because it's really good with the really heavy engine hands going second into most boards. Because of the spell Trap Pop, either forcing things or making them use them at weird times. And then we're playing 2 Goblin and 3 Shigo. The rest of the Memento 1-card combos.
The zeros look nice, my dude.
Yeah, I'm trying to get the whole engine slowly. And then for some of the extra 1-card combos, we're playing 1 Prosby and 1 1-for-1. The 1-for-1 is really helpful because it's oftentimes I was stopped, and this is the one thing that helps me keep playing.
Yeah, just like another extender to get out your gobbo.
Exactly. Or Mace, because it's also a 1.
Oh, yeah?
You can immediately grab the fusion. And Prosby is really solid because we're playing a fair amount of breakers in main and side. And grabbing those is really helpful.
Awesome.
And we're playing 2 Grim Breakout. I'm citing the 3rd one for going first. This is not often that good of a card, but it really helps if they hit you with a few hand traps and then use this for Goblin and then keep full comboing.
Yeah.
That happened once against a Yummy player. They hand trapped me 3 times, and then I breaked out into Goblin and then still set up with a half board.
You love to see it.
Yeah, and the half in this deck is just so nice. And then for some of the 1.5 card combos is we're playing 3 Sleepy because it's so good into boards as an extender. And then the 1 Mace and the 3 Bone Party. It's like 20 or 21 ways that you will start playing the game, which is really nice because very few of these are redundant except for these 3.
Yeah.
And so multiple times you'll have multiple pushes and multiple different plays.
I think the Sleepy is really interesting because I haven't really seen many Memento lists running 3. I've seen some that are running 2, but did that do really well for you this weekend?
It did really well because every hand where you open Sleepy or Fusion, you're playing through infinite stuff and your pushes are incredible. Which speaking, we're playing 3 Fusion. I've jumped around between playing 3 and 2 because it's not good unless you open other Mementos as an extender. But because we're playing 3 Sleepy and 2 Darkblade, our main deck name count is higher than in most decks, and so this becomes a lot better. And this is really good while you're breaking boards because every now and then you'll have to dodge a Banish from Grave by shuffling it back.
Yeah.
And that can be really helpful. And then for our bricks, I opened most of the day was the Gothic and the Actheron.
You open Gothic like it's your job, my dude.
I opened Gothic against a Yummy player. I opened it in every game except game 1. It was very annoying, but as long as you know your lines and like how to dump it efficiently from hand, it's fine. Horn Dragon, I will live and die by the fact that you have to play Horn Dragon because it makes your half boards just easily so much better. And oftentimes I was either making the half board or the full board, and then either way it wasn't being cracked because against most decks, you can just shut them off from ever having enough bodies to do anything, and then they can't crack your board or kill you, and then you just turn your card sideways and kill them.
Yeah, I mean, Horn Dragon just turns Bone Party into so many pops. It's crazy.
Really does. And then we have the 1 Big Idiot. He is really funny because against a Vanquish Soul player, I cracked his board, but I couldn't kill him, and then he couldn't kill me on his turn, and so then on my first action, I just summon this, and that's immediately an instant threat because his summon effect is live, and the threat of a 5k that can attack everything.
Yeah, just by itself, it presents so much pressure.
Yeah, and then we're playing the 1 Field Spell. I'm still on the fence if I want to side this out going second because you need cards that do something while you're going second, but if you have this in a grind game, it's ridiculous. And if you don't have it, it's immediately noticeable. But I feel like it should always stay in case you get into a grind.
It should stay in. It should just stay out of your opening hand.
Correct, because I opened the Field Spell and Mace as my only named going second into a striker player. That was my only loss because that was in game 3. Where it just has no play. That's it for the engine. Pretty hefty because with just engine you can break most of the boards going second in this format. And the reason why I feel like Pure was needed for this format is because it allows you to play more non-engine than the other builds. For the non-engine, we're playing 3 Fuvulos and the 1 Perulia. I know it looks weird having a single Perulia, but it really helps with the sighting patterns and the going second added consistency. And just having one extra monster in your deck to send for 1/1 or to normal summon and send for breakout is actually important. And then we're playing 3 Ash, which just has to be mandatory because it stops so many small things and stops Fuvulos, which is nice because like this deck does have plays under all the Charmies very nicely, but if I can end on full board, I would like to. And then another card that was mandatory and a god card this weekend was Droplet. Just like a Droplet for 3 on the entire Magnet inboard. Easy sweep Droplet for 3 against a VS player. Easy Droplet, Caesar, anything like that. And then with it was Super Poly.
Oof, the sweet.
wasn't as good as Droplet, but it felt really solid every time I saw it because it was another way of like it clears bodies going second or going first. It's like impossible to play through Super Poly 2 your bodies, Horn Dragon pop 2, Creation King pop 2, and Guardian Chimera pop 2. It's like nothing's sticking any bodies through that if you open this.
Just blowing up the board so many times. And this is like one of those decks where you can play Super Poly and Droplet together because it's like you don't mind pitching stuff because a lot of your stuff has value in the graveyard, which is awesome.
Yeah, or there's like a little bit of redundancy, like if you open up Tomb Bone Party, one's very easy to send off one of these or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, all the non-engine worked really well. It really helped going second. Because if you open like any one of these going second and then a handful of engine, you're cracking pretty much every board. And then for the extra deck, playing 2 Creation King. I was on 3 for a while because it's nice and helps you be a little bit more flexible. But 2 is honestly fine if you just manage your resources properly. And then the 1 Twin, because it's mandatory. The 1 Guardian Chimera, also mandatory. It only hit the board once or twice, but if he ever hits the board, he's usually the nail in the coffin. And sometimes I've had to do like, you can fuse into this and then use the fusion engrave to pop this and grab Bone Party in some really weird hands to keep playing. It's not that often, but it's just a nice thing you can do.
Just comes up.
Yeah, and then SP, which is often the inboard to play around Niv if you get hit with hand traps. And the Mirage Light is very often on the inboard because with all of the body removal, you having like 1 spell negate or 1 monster negate, it cannot be the difference in your opponent being able to break the board or not. And we have to be terrified of Evenly post side because Evenly just eats this deck alive. Evenly and like Talent stealing the combined creation and just running through my board is things I would like to avoid. And then a pick I don't see a lot of people play is I'm on Donner because like if you ever Super Poly and you can't get rid of the body, or like we're playing Talents inside, it stops you from using the Shigo or the creation to attack everything if you have anything else on board. And so this like clearing bodies and outing one thing is often really nice. And in one game, I just needed a card to be destroyed so I could use Fusion and Sleepy. And this was that, just with any 2 bodies.
That's sick. I remember this a lot from like Kashtira format, clearing your own bodies to be able to clear up a space for like Nightmare Unicorn. So kind of the same idea here. Or not, you know what I meant. Kashtira Unicorn.
Yeah, it's a similar idea. And like these are the names that I think are mandatory in any Memento extra deck. And then everything else is pretty much a flex spot. And one of our flex spots for this regional, for going first, was the Magistus package.
That's some spice.
And on Zora. This was ridiculously good because everyone the entire day saw Proxy F and was like, okay, it fuses, and saw Artemis, and they were like, that's weird. And then I'm like, effective fuse and make Zora, and they like the look on their face every time because he always seals the game as soon as he hits the board because he's such a powerful inboard piece. and also sometimes going second. Like he's that one extra bit, and if he's on your inboard, it becomes pretty much uncrackable in the same way that Mirage Light is, because of all the pops and like the Mace Steel and the one extra pop off this. Like no one can establish enough to try to break the board.
Because Zoroa is a monster negate and a pop after the negate, is that right?
Yeah, it pops anything on board, and sometimes you can even pop your own things. So Fusion and Sleep You're Alive and other stuff like that. I didn't do that at the regional, but I've done it in testing a few times.
Nice.
And then our super play targets are Secretarian, Mud, and Garura. Very standard. I didn't have room for the Azamina stuff, and I didn't really feel like it was necessary. Another reason we're playing the Zora package is because going second into the Magistus build, you can super poly their stuff and the Ecclesia Synchro into your Zora, and that breaking a board is ridiculous because it denies one of their fusions through Cartesia or Famina and then pops one of their spell traps. And Secretarian is fine going into like the standard Draco Tail board. I didn't play against a single Draco Tail at this regional, which was very surprising, but it really helps. And a neat thing is that you can hard make this if you're playing against them, because you can Memento fuse Horn Dragon and Anguish into Secretarian.
Oh my god.
Like halfway through them trying to break your board.
That's some pretty crazy spice. So for the Memento players that don't know that, now you know.
Yes, and the real spice for this event that I really had my eye on Vaquer Soul Canine, because a lot of people were really looking at that deck because it is just so powerful. And so I was really expecting it for this regional, which is why we had Alistair, the Invoker of Madness, to help go into Caliga, because you can end on Invoker of Madness and Mirage Light on your inboard with a standard one card combo, and then you can fuse into Caliga, which is pretty much impossible to out for Vanquish Soul Canine. And even if they have like a random imperm or something, you can wait until after they've committed something to the board. Like against one of my Vanquish Soul Canine opponents, I waited until he went stake for Rosin. He went stake for a fire, and then I summoned this, and he went Rosin add, and then was immediately locked out of any monsters for the rest of the game.
Which, for those that don't know, Invoked Caliga says each player gets one monster effect activation and one attack, and that's it.
Yep. And because we side in Cranium Burst going second, that one attack can be redirected into a 5k body. So you're just not outing this. And
That's
then
diabolical,
I
man.
turn everything sideways and then sweep up the game after that.
This is truly evil. You were even calling him Satan throughout the day. So.
Yes, I was calling him Satan the entire day, because he basically is. I only did it twice, but the look as they saw this and then read it and was like, what does he do? He doesn't do anything.
He's just there for vibes.
Yeah, he's there to fuse into this for my inboard to make it completely unbreakable for that deck. And it did help a lot and helped me win 2 out of my 3 Vanquish Soul Canine opponents. I didn't need it for my last round because we are playing Cranium Burst on the side, and this is only able to be ended on if you don't get interrupted a lot. But they had like all the non-engine they could possibly have drawn in that game. But
Of course.
because I ended on Cranium Burst and the half board, they still couldn't break it. We're on 2 Perulia and 3 Imperm. These are the only other hand traps in the deck. These are for Vanquish Soul Canine going second, and for all the decks that I'm afraid they're going to FTK me, just to try to help. Because most times going second, you side out like your Prosby and your 1-for-1, and all like the 1-card combos that need other cards that'll deplete your hand too much for things like these. And also we have Talent Call By. These are mainly for going first. Like Call By is good into some really heavy hand trap decks going second, and Talent is really good into Vanquish Soul. And like I said, we're also playing a Breakout of going first and Cranium Burst.
Appaloosa on a trap card.
Yep, and it's Apo and Nightmare Pain for some reason, and it's still only a rare, which hurts my soul. But it's the 1 Perulia in main was really nice because you just side out all your Charmies for these 4. And then Droplet or Super Poly for your Imperms. And so your going first sides are always really quick and really simple, which really helps over a 9-round tournament, not having to think a whole lot on your siding patterns, because you have to think a lot while you're dodging hand traps or breaking a board with the deck.
I think that's really smart to like have that kind of stuff mapped out ahead of time, especially for a more skill-intensive deck like this. Because yeah, you don't want to be thinking about your sides every game, and like just having these mapped out already is huge.
Yeah, it was incredibly helpful just already knowing immediately, all right, these go out, these go in. it's time to play again. And then for the rest of the side deck, we have a Duster and 2 Lightning Storm. For a few of the decks like Striker and Draco Tail, and Radiant Typhoon, which is also why the last side deck card is the Doubling Cyclone, because if you open a combination of these or these in Droplet, it's really easy to break through the Radiant Typhoon or the Draco Tail inboard. And we were suspecting a lot of Striker at the event, which I did see all around me, and I did play against one. And the reason why I won game 2 is because I prossed for Duster and dustered his board and then just killed him right after that.
That's the thing about Striker, man. Like, even with all the new support, they can't do much about Duster. It just blows them out of the water.
Yep, which is why we had so much spell trap hate in the side, because a lot of decks, even like a generically a Duster or a Lightning Storm can go in, because a lot of decks are ending on like 2 or 3 interactions in their back row. Like Yummy. I don't hate Duster into because you force the surprise and their trap card, which can be a little annoying, and then you just break their board with all your engine.
We really appreciate the deck profile. I want to say congrats again on the top 8. You got 5th place. We're going to get you that top 4 one of these days, my man.
Yeah, eventually we're going to get the top 4, but I'll take another top 5.
Absolutely. Well, congrats, bro. We'll get out of here. Have a good one. Peace.
See ya.